up and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be giving a review for the film Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Now this is the 8th film in the Mission Impossible film franchise, and it's supposedly like the final film, and the film does feel like that too, because throughout the film you get to see like a lot of flashback sequences to all the previous like Mission Impossible films. Plus at times, you know, it's like a lot of like just like, or you get like a sense of the film is like ending, like the series is ending basically. Like I don't want to go into it too much because it'll spoil it, you know. But now this again is directed by Christopher McQuarrie, and you do have Tom Cruise returning to like the role of Ethan Hunt too as well. Now originally, if you remember, this film was going to be called Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 2, because they did announce like even the previous film, these were going to be like a 2-film saga, like it was going to end with a 2-part film saga, and both of them were called Dead Reckoning Part 1 then Part 2, but they decided to change the title at the last minute, because I was there when they changed the title, like, oh okay, they did change the title to The Final Reckoning. But you do have all of the returning like characters like Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, like Angela Bassett, and so on, plus like other new people are joining like the franchise too as well. You also have Esai Morales, who returns as like, I guess you could say, the primary antagonist of the film, even though it's really like the entity like the AI thing that's trying to cause like a global destruction, which I think is pretty cool, because that's what started with the previous film, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. But yeah, that's what this particular film right here itself is about. Like the plot of it is about Ethan Hunt trying to get like his IMF team, like the Impossible Mission Force team, to stop the entity, you know, from like causing like a global chaos and destruction, like releasing missiles out around the world and stuff like that. And I think it's a pretty cool concept, because the actual villain is like an AI. It kind of reminds you like the Terminator, you know, like with Skynet and stuff like that, how like Skynet took control and like caused like a nuclear war. It kind of seems very similar to that, you know. Now this film, I must admit, I think it is like the longest one. It's like around like 3 hours long. It is like very long, and you can feel it too. But I must admit, I really had a good time. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was like awesome. I thought once it got towards like the third act of the film, like towards the very end of it, when they're trying to defuse this bomb, and plus Ethan is trying to chase down Gabriel, because that's Esai Morales' character name. Oh yeah, it's kind of spoiling it, but he's trying to chase him down. I thought around that kind of area right there, that's when it started to kind of like drag, like it was like slowing down. But in that, the film does have like some awesome like action moments. It's even like some emotional moments too. You probably can figure out what that probably is, you know, like throughout the film, like the loss of team members and stuff like that, which I was kind of suspecting, you know. But there are some awesome action sequences in the film too as well. Like at times, they're like, especially like the scene with Ethan and the underwater sequence. I thought that was pretty cool. It was very long though, and that's kind of like during the third act of the film, where he has to go inside the submarine to retrieve like this certain piece thing to try to wipe out the entity. But that part that was very cool and like claustrophobic, because the water is like apparently so cold, and he has to swim through all this water even into the submarine. It's a very cool like sequence, and there's also like other like awesome action scenes too. I'm trying to think of, but like I said, at times it really had like a nice pace to it. I thought like the chemistry between like the various characters, like Simon Pegg's Benji, you know, he's always there, like he's like the technical field agent, and he's always providing like hilarious like comments and like quirks and remarks and stuff. So I thought he was like funny. Then you also have Ving Rhames, who like as Luther as well, you know, he's there as well. You also have Haley Atwell as Grace, and she, you know, she joined I think this is the one, yeah, that joined Ethan's like group, because remember, like I think she was like bad at one point or something like that. I think that was her, right? But like I said, you also have Esai Morales, who was actually like the primary antagonist of the film. Now there's also other people in the film too, like Angela Bassett returns as the president of the United States, you know. You also have Hope McConnell, I think that's how you pronounce his name, as the Secretary of Defense. There's like other like people who show up in the film where they make like cameos and stuff like that. But other than that, the film was pretty entertaining, like I say, except for like once it got to like the third act, that's when it's like it was kind of like dragging. But there are some like over the top and very like wild moments throughout the film, like wow, come on now. But as you know, these films have always been like that, because they're like some major tight scenes. Like whoa, now come on, how could you do that? But like I said, they have always been like wild and like over the top, like that. The Mission Impossible like film series. There are other people I want to touch on too, like other characters and stuff like that, but I just leave it at that. But other than that, it was a pretty entertaining film. I really enjoyed it, and I like the idea that the actual true antagonist of the film is an AI entity, like a computer-like thing that's trying to cause like global destruction. And I think that's pretty cool. It's not like a human; it's like actually like an artificial intelligence that they're trying to take out. I think that's pretty cool, you know. But anyway, in the end, Mission Impossible, the Final Reckoning, and it does feel like this is like the last film in the franchise, because there's like a lot of moments where you can just tell that this is like they're trying to aim this to be the final film in the series. You know, like I saw all the various flashbacks throughout, showing all the scenes from the previous films. There are even connections to the previous films, like the first film. There's like a connection to the first film in this particular film, which I thought was pretty cool. They even talk about how the original event, like the first film, like how that was like 30 years ago, because you remember that came out in '96, Mission Impossible. I remember seeing that in the theaters. Like the first Mission Impossible, I went to see that. But yeah, I even saw all of them like in the theaters, you know. But yeah, it does feel like this is like a farewell to like the Mission Impossible franchise. But in Mission Impossible, the Final Reckoning, I'm gonna give it a solid B, and I would definitely recommend it for fans of the Mission Impossible like film franchise. I think this is like a solid follow up. You know, it's very entertaining and enjoyable. I really did enjoy it. Nice action scenes. It's very long. But anyway, please leave a comment and subscribe too as well.